We're excited to have you all dig into these 3 themes today. And we really think that we're going to generate some awesome ideas with you all that really can turn the education strategy into reality. But before we do that, I'm going to turn it over to Joe to introduce our workshop.
Hey team, how are you? I think we're going to skip past this. So if you want to slide back. Yeah. So we're going to be breaking into, you're going to vote with your feet. So we have a process that we're going to use here in the Zoom room. So we'll be getting everybody engaged in that process. So you'll probably want to unplug in a minute, Miranda. We're going to be talking about elevating design. You'll see the boards around the room. You guys see those there? And then you'll be walking to those boards and you'll see the one that really speaks to you. And then after 10 minutes, you're going to rotate and Joan and team will help you navigate through that. So you'll get access to each one of these, helping us to build up these boards. And ultimately, we'll be taking that resources and coming back together as a team to see what we designed and move forward from there. So you're going to vote with your feet for the first one. The Zoom room, you'll just stay here where you are, and we're going to give you some more instructions, but that's it for this part.
Okay, so we're going to have everyone, whatever you want to gravitate to, which kind of theme. And we're over a 30-minute period. We're going to be answering 3 different questions under that theme. So let's go.
All right. If you want to mute your guys over there. Yeah. Can you mute all your mics in there?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you probably want to unplug us. All right, team. Great to see you, everybody. So what we're going to do is push this to you. So I want to make sure you can see it in the chat. But this is what we're going to be working from, a little Jamboard. Does everyone, whoops, let me pick the right screen first. Do you guys see my screen now? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I'm going to give you this slide. So let me stop sharing and we're going to be working from this particular one. And you should see it here coming shortly to everyone. All right. And then go ahead and log into that. It's a little Jamboard, a simple little board for us to do some quick prototyping. So first, just make sure you can get in there. And then Paula, we're going to have you just talk about the phase that we're going to be really operating in. I'm going to push that up next. So if you have the board, awesome. I see a thumbs up. Good job. And let me share that screen one more time. And we're really getting into this, how might we? So let's get designing, because this is really the work, why we came together to really understand this. But we want to talk about slide 2. So if you're on your Jamboard, it's called Design Education. We're going to be on slide 2. And we have our friends from the Cloud Club. Can you talk to us about this? And I was just so inspired by your work that you were doing today, and you kind of mashed together a lot of different resources.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Paula. I'm co-founder at Cloud Club Collective. And so this screen we put together to help share how the creative process aligns with the human-centered design process. And I will also note, as we're talking to educators, that the creative process is also the same as the learning process. So the rectangles across the top show the creative and design processes, where we start with preparation, we move into incubation, then we go to illumination and validation. And particularly in education, we're really great at that preparation stage where we're taking in information. In the design process, of course, we're in the discovery mode, we're doing our interviewing, etc., and defining the needs. And then we get into the incubation phase, which is the ideation phase that we're entering into here in this workshop. Unfortunately, this gets skipped over a lot in organizations, in education, especially when there's time constraints. But it's a really crucial stage. And incubation is that diffuse thought. You're unfocused. So you're truly diverging inward in your mind. You're going divergent and making connections. And it's undervalued, and imagination in general tends to be undervalued. And that focus on productivity and needing to come up with a solution causes anxiety, causes a lack of creative confidence, and that's when we come up with more obvious solutions. So we just really want to focus on the ideation phase here and allowing ourselves the permission to take a quiet creative pause as needed, and to really go deep and go wide before we start throwing in evaluations.
Beautiful work. We're super appreciative of that. And what I have next is you're going to want to jump into slide 3, and I have my buddy Jacqueline. Jacqueline, we're going to kind of walk us through a process here and just kind of talk to us about the tools. We're going to do democratized design collectively together, and then we'll break into 2 little breakout groups. So we'll feel like the sense of collaboration in this one, and then we can basically vote with your feet. You'll just put a number, you'll change your name on the screen, and I'll put you into 2 breakout groups. But Jacqueline, go for it.
Hi, everyone. I think I'm unmuted. We're going to walk through one process for the democratized design, and it's about 3 slides on this Jamboard. So this is the first slide. As you can see, we have a little bit of a descriptor below the democratized design title here. For this Jamboard, what we're going to do on this slide is you're going to go over to your left side toolbar and find the Post-it. Joe, can you kind of model what that looks like since you have the screen? So the Post-it, you're going to go there. You're going to be able to choose your color, type in something there, and then move it to the side around so people can still continue to read what's inside that gray square. What we're going to ask you to do is kind of sit with this definition or descriptor, and you're going to pull out either words or phrases directly from this descriptor and add it to the Post-it. You can also start to kind of connect. It's like a little chalk talk where you're just trying to pull out and get comfortable with what this actually means. You can also start to create some connections that come to mind. Maybe there's a sentence or phrase in here that you go, oh, okay, I have heard this before in another way. So you could add that there as well. So grab some stickies. We'll probably have about 2 minutes here, Joe. Is that right? 2 or 3?
Yeah, that's great. So like one thing that resonated for me is affordable. It should be like accessible to everybody. And I think that's what really recognized for me. Is that what you're thinking about, Jacqueline? So if I were to say, okay, affordable, and you go like, oh, okay, I could +1 that, but then maybe make another connection. So we're just really digging in for 2 minutes, pulling out words, phrases that help to make meaning with this thing, democratized design, because that's kind of a big word for me. So I'm scratching my head. So I want to really understand that. Is that fair enough?
Totally.
Right. So you're our timekeeper, Jacqueline. So we're grabbing stickies, and here we go.
We have 2 minutes. Here we go.
Go for it. I'm going to stop sharing, and you can work on your own board.
Awesome. This might be a good time too, if you feel like you've exhausted all of your initial thoughts, to take a step back and kind of read around the board and maybe make some connections to see what others were connecting to.
So wonderful, right?
Perfect.
Let me put the board up for everybody so we can all share the same thing. So I've just, all right, Jacqueline, this is great. It really helped me make meaning. Like this big word democratize is like, what are we really trying to do there? And so what were some of the noticings you saw, Jacqueline, and maybe some teammates could share?
Some of the things that I really liked in this kind of like pop up was seeing people kind of like double down on something that I saw to make me feel like, okay, maybe I'm on the right track as well. But I also like seeing some of that synthesizing, where I saw things that weren't directly in there, but like described it in a different way, such as tackling challenges, inclusivity. Those are really helpful as well.
Anyone else? A word or phrase that really resonated with you when you're thinking about this space? Rosalia, come on, I can count on you.
Paula shares instilling creativity, the everyday designer.
Okay, great. Should we go to the next screen? So I'm going to move on to slide 4. And so we're kind of just going to walk through this process. So then when you guys break into 2 teams, you can do this. So now, Jacqueline, we're in this next slide. We're on slide 4 of 12. What's the thinking here and what we're trying to get to?
So just like designers do all the time, we want to also think about where have we seen this design type, this type of design in our everyday life? Because we want to be able to capitalize on, you know, what's already out there and then make that next best iteration as well. So we get a lot of ideas from other people. So this is where we're going to kind of take the Post-its again and say, where do we see this design happening? in our current space. And Joe, if you could share, oh, you're
Yep.
gonna,
I think it's good. Yeah. So an
Yeah.
example, where do you see design in everyday things? So Jack, I'm going to make a note for you. Where do you see design in everyday things? What's something?
Well, I'm right now staying at a hotel, and here's my really cool takeaway. It's like a beach hotel, and instead of doing the key cards to get into your hotel room, it's a band with a little magnetic chip. So you just swipe your wristband everywhere to get in. And I thought that's perfect for beach clubs because nobody's carrying their wallet.
So I just put it in there, a key card wristband. I want to join you. That's pretty awesome. All right, so just some unique ways that you see where design is happening in education, in your classrooms, in your community. Where are you seeing design? Okay, 2 minutes again, is that right, Jacqueline?
Yep, 2 minutes. Rapid prototyping.
All
All
right.
right.
Put up the screen. Let me put that up. People started firing away after they started getting going there. That was great.
Yeah, so take a moment to kind of read through where your peers are finding design in everyday things.
Door handles,
Mhm.
school classrooms, gardens. Yeah. Wow, once you start thinking, it's just you start seeing it everywhere, it looks like, right? That sounds like
Mhm.
that whole, I'm starting to make meaning around that idea of democratizing now,
Mhm.
that it's accessible. You use it everywhere you go. It's not just like the architects that we typically think of or a fashion designer, right? Those are the two I put. And then it's like, whoa, there's so many other interesting things that people started to create here. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna do one more slide, and this is kind of where we're digging into those parts that Michelle had talked about. And then now we'll have a prototype of kind of an example how to walk through it. So then we'll break into 2 groups for the final 2, because we only have 15 more minutes after that. So we're gonna break into 2 groups after this last slide here. And Jacqueline, we're gonna be on slide 5. And we're gonna just tackle one question for now at a time, and we'll see if we can get through that. And this question, Jacqueline, you go from there, and I'll slide 5. Yeah.
So here's where we're gonna try and create a lot of different ideas that we could potentially dive into. So here's where you're gonna pull up a Post-it and you're gonna try to create lots of different solutions to this question. How might we create sustainable and affordable design? So one idea for each Post-it that you use. And if you're feeling a little bit stuck, maybe hang back and look at what other people are writing and then get an idea from somebody else, and hopefully you'll start to generate some great stuff.
And what you might have noticed in this is that we're really wanting it in our cross-border regions, right, where they might not have as much access and opportunity. We really want to ensure that everyone, it is affordable, it's just attainable, and that we can give some good ideas on how to operationalize that. All right, so it looks like, how much time for this, Jacqueline? Again, 2 minutes?
2 minutes, yeah.
Okay, and then we'll flip out to the next group. All right, 2 minutes.
Awesome. Thanks, Joe, for sharing whole screen. As you're noticing, you can toggle back or look at your Jamboard page 5 and kind of think about some of those ideas. Maybe you even see some Post-its that connect to each other, or you can see some yes and opportunities. Maybe you can move an idea to connect to another idea. Idea exchanges in parallel to artifact exchanges. That's a really cool thought. I'd love to hear more about that too. Bring design into primary grades. Critical to start early, having that designer mindset. Phone call pals, love it. Kid business using design.
So who was it that shared the idea exchanges to parallel artifacts exchanges? Who wrote that?
Paula.
Paula, what does that mean?
I was thinking about how you have cultural exchanges, and usually it's food or something that represents your culture. And so then I thought, well, if it's ideas, then we don't have to necessarily mail it and then have to mash up those ideas. But I don't know. That's just the start. Where else could it go?
Exactly right. So this is our first attempt at working this through. we want to take this data and then we want to synthesize it and then keep working at it. And we want to do those pieces in person. So there's two more things. One that I'm going to show you here. So you're going to change the name. So the little 3 dots at the top of your screen. So you're going to pick either. The next one is going to be, so you would write Elevate Design as a profession. So let's call this number 1. So if you take the little 3 dots and you say, I'm really interested in this, hopefully you guys have the ability to change your name. And so I would just put 1 Joe like that. So if you look at my name and you hover over my image on the screen, you can see I put 1 Joe. So that way I can put you into breakout groups. So 1 Joe would mean I'm interested in going into the Elevate Design as a profession team, or you would put 2 in your name, which is the next one, which is Amplify Youth Voice. I hope our youth go into this one. So you would put 2 youth, or you could put 2 your name. So whichever makes sense to you. So just 2 would be Amplify Youth Voice. So if you can go ahead and design profession will be 1, and then youth voice is 2. So if you can use the 3 little dots up in the corner and then change your name, and then I will put you into breakout groups. So we have Michelle and Jacqueline. You guys are going to do youth, right? And then I'll stay with profession, unless Michelle, you wanted to. I think that's what is your plan. Okay, great.
Whatever. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Why don't you join Jacqueline, and then I will stay here with profession. And Paula, you want to join me in the profession one? Okay, great. Okay, so it looks like, Elise, did you change your name? What number did you want?
I'll change it right now. I wanted to.
Okay, 2. Okay. Sarah, how about you? If you want to change your name. And then-
2.
Okay, Rosalia.
I also wanted to, but it won't let me change.
Okay,
it.
won't let you. Okay, let me assign manually now. I'm going to break it into 2 groups. So let's see who we got in one. Okay. And Paula, anybody else want? Anna, what did you want?
2.
2. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to make these ones. Here they come. 2, 2, 2. Anna, you wanted 2? Okay. And Sarah. All right. And James White, John, Joe, Rosalia. Okay. I'm going to open those rooms, then we'll move people who haven't moved yet. Okay.
And how long do we have, Joe? 10 minutes? total?
This is the whole thing is 12 minutes. Yeah.
12 minutes.
And then we'll come back in. Yeah.
Okay, thank
Got
you.
it. Great.
Can you hear us?
Yay. We hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yay. We're bringing everybody back in the room. Look at those kids. That was great.
Okay, so can we see everybody? Yeah, where is everybody over there? We have you.
All right, everybody wave real quick.
This is our
Yay.
online team. Hi.
All right, we gotcha.
Okay, so we're going to do one more activity before we go. Thanks, everybody. That was incredible. And it's really information that we can use to go forward. So Miranda's handing out a stick. And for the online people, you're going to put this in your chat. So we do an exercise, what we call stake in the ground. So we would love for you to write on your stick one thing that you will commit to help further human-centered design education for the World Design Capital. And then we'll just have a shout out. So, Michelle, I think we would just love to see your chat and see what everyone's putting in a chat.
So can you say it one more time? So we were just coming back into the room. So we have a stake in the ground and we want to make a commitment. Can you say it one more time, Joan?
Yes. So what we do is an activity to put the stake in the ground, and it's writing down one thing that you will commit to furthering human-centered design education for the World Design Capital 2024. It could be telling a neighbor, educating a neighbor, to whatever commitment you would like to consider.
Can we see them in the chat? Maybe I can put like that.
Might be the right one, too. Okay, just another couple minutes and then we'll do some sharing. And you can put your name on the back if you like. Okay, do we have anybody who wants to shout out? James, I saw you writing one over there.
My commitment to you all and to everyone that puts ideas into the hopper is really to look at them, to filter them, and to bring them to life if I'm able and if it makes sense. I have a commitment to you to really assess these ideas, assimilate them, and then do something about it. It's the thinking to the doing. I can't promise they're all going to come to life, but let's try.
Thanks. Who else? Couple more here, and then we want to hear from the people online. Who else? Commitment?
I'll commit
Okay.
to talking about it
Great,
with everybody and everyone.
good. All right.
Commitment to talking about it.
Yeah.
Creating awareness, creating engagement is the first step to this. We need to create an army, and it starts here. Every time that we talk about making a difference, find someone that you can join arms with to make a difference, because we need to create that network effect.
Okay.
I can host a event in my community of bike riders in San Diego. So we can get together and either do something related to World Design Center or to do some outreach.
We love that. So that was a commitment to create an event in his biking community. So thank you. Love that. Anybody else want to do a shout out here before we go online? Okay, Joe and Michelle, how about over at you? What do you see there?
Go for it, Michelle.
Who wants to do a shout out?
There's so many great ideas. I love it. So I love Jacqueline said to keep talking with young people about what we can do to amplify their voice in human-centered design. Joe said bring back our youth for an in-person design session to learn more about their design thoughts, because there's a lot of great work on Zoom and we definitely want to get back together. That was a great one, Joe. Paula also talked about commit to inviting other educators to become design-based educators and participate in the World Design Capital events. I really like that. I added, I'm really looking forward to talking with my Girl Scouts troops about design and the World Design Capital. So that's going to be a fun thing for me to do. See, Anna said, keep reassuring the people around me how design is everywhere and why it's important. I love that. Design is everywhere. And then I think that covers everything. I don't know if anyone else had more thoughts, but please feel free to add them in if you haven't already.
That's great. Thanks. Thanks, everybody. It's great to see everyone's faces there. And maybe we can, yeah. So we're just about at 5 o'clock now, and I want to congratulate everybody because you are now all design ambassadors for WDC.
Wait, you can unmute yourself. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Again,
Oh, there you go, Jacqueline.
Yeehaw!
Whoa, I hear it.
again, you truly inspired all of us, and it was just great to see all the ideas that have come out of this. And we hope we inspired you to continue working with us. We'll be doing a lot more of this in the future.